Welcome again. Rectilinear motion part 20 Incubation Academy. In this lecture we are going to discuss the topic that if the acceleration is constant, then the equation of motion that we derived, that is v equal to u plus at, a is equal to ut plus half of at square, and v square equal to u square plus 2s, these equation of motions are very well off if the acceleration is constant. If the acceleration is not constant, if there is any variation of the acceleration with time or velocity, then we can apply this equation of motions. This is my question. Here we can say if the acceleration is constant with time, then we have derived the equation v equal to u plus at and s equal to u plus half of at square. Let us consider at time t equal to 0, u equal to 0. Then v equal to, we can say, a into t, and s equal to 1 by 2 into a t square. So since a is constant, so we can say v is proportional to time, that is the velocity increases linearly with time, and if I say s, then s is proportional to t square, that is the displacement from the origin is increases at the square of the time. Okay, so if I want to look these things clearly, then we can say at t equal to 0, the acceleration is say 2 meter per second square. At t equal to 1 second, the acceleration is 2 meter per second square. T equal to 2 second, the acceleration is 2 meter per second square. T equal to 3 second, the acceleration is 2 meter per second square. If I want to say with the numerical value, then each and every point on the path, each and every instant of the motion, the acceleration is constant throughout the motion. But let us consider now the force which is acting on the particle and due to which the acceleration results in is not constant. That is, if t equal to 0 equal to consider as the initial condition, and the acceleration at t equal to, once again let us consider, is 2 meter per second square. At t equal to 2 second, I can consider it is 4 meter per second square. T equal to 3 second, it is 6 meter per second square. T equal to 4 second, it is 8 meter per second square. So you can see the acceleration is increasing linearly with time, that is, it is dependent on time. So you can say the acceleration now is a function of time. But if I want to say the acceleration is not only dependent on time, it may be dependent on velocity or displacement, that we discuss in the another lecture. But for the time being, acceleration is a function of time, and acceleration, we can say, it is proportional to time. If the acceleration is proportional to time, then we can write down acceleration equal to small k into t, where k is the constant of proportionality. Obviously here k is an proportionality constant, but its value should be non-zero. If it is 0, then the acceleration is 0 throughout the motion, so the velocity of the particle will remain unchanged. We know that acceleration is dv dt into k into t. This dv dt, that is the rate of change of velocity with time. So if I just slightly arrange this equation, then it will become kt into dt. For the time being, I just want to share you the formula of integration, because I am going to integrate now. That is, if I say it is x to the power n dx, then the formula is x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. If I take the limits from 0 to x, that is called the definite integral, then obviously the limit should be placed here. So we are following this. Why you do the integration? Basically we just want to say why you do the integration. When you just buy some beauty cream of something, at that time you just apply a very small portion of your skin, and if it works, if no irritation occurs, then you apply for the whole body or for the face. But you don't apply it on the face or greater part of your body, exposure part of your body. You don't do that, and it is also instructed in the beauty cream. Not only that, and if you just boiling the chicken, and if the spices are added on it, how it's taste, you just take one chicken from there and just taste it. If it is correct, you will say obviously all the chicken pieces in this bowl should be correct taste. So that is the thing, that is, if here I check a very small part in the dt time, I check. After that, if we integrate it, then we get for the total. So if I integrate it, then it will be dv equal to k into t dt. So this is the integration. So let us consider when t equal to 0, at that time the velocity is 0. Initially the particle is starting from rest. When t equal to t, the velocity is v. So if I do the integration after that, so let us consider that is v 0 to v. K is a constant, so it can be taken outside the integral, and if I integrate over t, then it will be according to the formula, that is t to the power 1, so it will be t to the power 1 plus 1, that is 2, and divided by 1 plus 1, that is 2. We are following this. So if I put the limits here, that is 0 and t, it will obviously look like this. So just see, after that it is v minus of 0, it is small k, since 2 is constant, so you can take it outside, so it will be t square minus of 0 square. So you can see that the velocity is small k divided by 2 into t square. So you can say the velocity is now proportional to t square. So just try to think, when the acceleration is constant and the particle starts from rest, the velocity is proportional to time, that is linearly proportional to time, but now it is proportional to that of the square of the time. Now if I try to advance with this equation, try to proceed from this equation, that is v equal to k by 2 into t square, then we can write down this thing as ds dt, that is the change in displacement, that the change in position divided by time. So it will be k by 2 into t square. So what is ds? That is ds, so it is k by 2 into t square into dt. So if I want to get a total displacement, then we have to integrate this thing. So ds equal to k by 2 t square dt. Obviously if I put the integration here, then obviously k by 2 comes just the left of the integration, it is not the part of the integration. So if I do this, then obviously at t equal to 0, according to my consideration, the displacement is also 0. When the time is t, at that time the displacement is s. So we can, if I do the integration, then it will be s 0 to s, lower limit, upper limit, k by 2, t square can be written as t cube divided by 3, 0 to small t. So if I do after that, then upper limit minus lower limit, k by 2 t cube divided by 3 minus 0 cube divided by 3. So this thing will become s equal to k by 2 into t cube. We can write down this thing as 6. So we can say that is s is proportional to t cube. So it is clear that if we say the acceleration is a function of time, acceleration is changing with time, at that time we cannot use the equations, that is v equal to u plus at, s equal to ut plus half of at square. We cannot apply this equation of motion. At that time the equation of motions are different, and we have to find it by using the method of integration.